We're not going to talk about that.
He's not allowed within 100 yards of a school.
Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. Coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California. Hey everyone, this is Liza. And right now the kids are being good, but as Matt can attest, just 10 seconds ago.
Not 10 seconds ago.
Can we talk yet? Yeah. God. Yeah. The amazing thing at this moment, the one person whose attention I have is the one who's usually I don't. And I'm loving this locked-in moment.
I'm laser focused on you, Liza.
Great.
Emma won the staring competition because you had to look away and look at me for some moral support. I gave it to you. I said, hang tough, but you know.
I know. Hey, everyone, this is Liza. Joining me in the naughty schoolroom today, it's Neal.
Hey there, moto people.
I get to look at Neal today.
I
You're
know.
across the room.
He's
Handsome
you.
devil.
Or maybe unfortunate you.
Oh. And you can remodel a house. You're my man.
Yeah, that I can do. I can swing hammer. I can sweat pipes. I can twist nuts on wires.
And I bet you can lay cable like nobody's business.
I am good at laying cable.
Indestructible,
That I'm good.
inflatable you.
Yes.
On
And
the
pipe.
classy girl couch,
Wow.
actually being classy, it's Miss Emma.
Hello, darlings. And joining my middle and index fingers together is super glue.
You look fabulous in those pearls, by the way.
Oh, thank you, darling. This is my double strand
Yes.
for double
very
the
nice.
fun.
And for anyone who doubts that she actually wears pearls with her mechanic outfit,
Oh, yeah.
Matt, can you attest?
I can attest.
Full package.
They are wonderful pearls.
Thank you, darling.
And that would be the dulcet tones of, is it Matt from Minnesota?
Nope.
Nope. Milwaukee?
Yeah, but which one?
Oh, there's two?
Oregon.
Yes. Correct.
What?
Milwaukee,
Yeah,
Oregon.
Milwaukee, Oregon.
I think
No
all
way.
I know is it's Matt that stutters when he looks at Emma's boobs, checking out her pearl necklace.
Nobody
I
alive
stutter
does not
when I look at my
stutter
boobs.
when they look at Emma's boobs.
Jim, that was very sneaky. If anybody wants to motorboat them later, that's fine.
Going around the
It
room.
is more tricky.
Those are still not done yet, of course. That's Cat. Wow.
Hi, kids.
It's what the
All
cat
right.
dragged in.
Oh, I.
And sitting next to Cat by the open window, it's Naked Jim.
Hey, it's dirt bike season.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Good dirt.
Yeah.
Get
Yep.
dirty.
Mm.
Yep.
Now, this next person I'm about to introduce, you probably know who it is. And I don't know if they're upset by the news. Did you see about our famous steak and strip club in Portland is,
I did.
I think, closing?
I'm talking about the lucky
Bagel,
being
how
sold.
upset are you?
All good things must pass, I suppose. But I will say that among the scooter community, there's been a lot of intense discussion about pooling resources together. The
I
outcome remains
love
to
the
be
sound
seen.
of that.
So you're
But-
talking about the lucky devil, right?
No,
No,
this
no.
is the Acropolis.
The Acropolis,
Oh,
yeah.
a different place.
Acropolis.
Okay.
I live
I-
approximately 3 miles due south of the Acrop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crap.
A local institution, one might say.
yes.
Remember we gave that
yeah.
nice young lady like a handful of cash and she took
She took Bagel,
Bagel
away,
away.
For 25 minutes, 38 seconds. What did she do, Bagel?
She
what
asked
did
him
she
how
do?
he liked his steak.
What did she
prepared.
do to you in those 25 minutes, 38 seconds,
She
Bagel?
painted his house.
She was very nice.
She fixed the cable.
very nice.
No, she was very, very sweet, and I maintained a friendship with her, albeit, a book of faces.
That was a
friendship
hoot
for-
because Phil
for a
was
long
there
time
too, right?
afterwards. Yeah, we all pulled
Yeah,
that
Phil
cash.
was there. And
And we saw how beetroot coloured we could get Bagel's face, which
I was
apparently
going to ask
very
if he's
beetroot
always beat
coloured.
red or if it's just
No,
right now.
no, it was worse than that.
if I had ever seen the face of no regret, it was Bagel coming out of that curtain.
In the coming
No
year,
regret.
the Artemis mission will launch from Earth to get back to the moon. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that most of the folks at NASA are aware that Artemis is also the name of the largest brothel in Germany. It's in Berlin.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, but I'm sure the Artemis in Berlin is going to be having a huge party when the launch occurs.
Well,
a mission of their own, one you could say.
in fact,
So
we've
they know
had
how to raise things up.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, Neal. Neal, the one I can rely
Rockets. We're
on.
talking
help it.
rockets.
In news, we've had 2 unusual events happen in the last week
We have indeed.
here in town.
Well, sort of.
Well, one on the bay.
Yes.
One was quite interesting. Christmas Day was with my family. We went out to the lighthouse to watch the surfers, and we immediately got a tornado alert on our phone. Seek shelter.
There was no tornado. It was straight up Sharknado. It was
Well-
the Sharknado warning
Well,
from Monterey Bay.
and a tornado hit the harbor and tossed a bunch of boats around.
Man, sharks.
Was it?
Sharks
Did
flying
you get to
around.
see some Twisted Sisters?
No.
Ah.
But then speaking of Sharknado, we also had a shark attack. And sadly, a woman was...
That was sadly. I think they may have found the body today,
yesterday,
yeah.
the body
Yeah,
was...
that was sad. That was
discovered.
crazy though, man.
But, this
I was
is...
wondering what was going on. I was hearing all these emergency vehicles heading that way. And
Birds got to fly.
that's
Fish got to eat.
what it was, I guess.
But yeah, she's a
That's sad.
triathlete who was out there training
Oh,
with a group of
man.
people. So this wasn't like somebody out there frolicking. This is a trained swimmer who was swimming with a group. And it's quite unusual. Yes, we have sharks here, but it's quite unusual to have shark come and
I can't remember the last time someone was
Take
killed,
some away.
much less bit.
I
mean,
know.
we are in the red triangle for great white
dude,
sharks.
we're living in Sharknado.
but sharks
real.
are smarter than that. But it
Sharks
was
and
weird to have-
tornadoes Christmas week.
Yeah, something's gonna happen.
I think that
That
is
was it.
something happened.
Oh.
Anyway, crazy stuff. But you know what else happened?
Mhm.
Kat and I went to Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Now, was this Vancouver, British Columbia, or
Oh.
Vancouver in Canada land?
Canadian
Wait.
land.
That's the
Oh,
same.
that's the
It's the same place. Yeah.
Well, I thought
The farther north one.
We went
Yeah,
to the
the
Great Lake
northier
North,
one.
love.
Not
And I was there
Vancouver,
too.
Washington. It's Vancouver.
yes, yeah, forgive
DC.
me, yes, yeah.
Or Vancouver Island.
Washington.
Yeah.
Could be Vancouver Island.
Yes.
Which is also in Canada.
Okay. So,
We were in the
and
city.
Bagel.
Yeah,
The
I
three
saw
of us
Bagel.
went up there to go see Yalla Habibi, which is the finished product name of the Fort 9
Yes.
movie that we were calling Fast Way Around. And joining us was listeners who won the contest, Smokey and his wife Wendy, who were really cool.
AKA Smokey Joe.
And you
Smoky
know,
Moon.
Yeah.
Smoky Moon. You know who else we were hanging out with up there?
Who?
Jason from Six Bike Garage.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So I just immediate report meeting, Ryan and
Yeah.
Carner and Edwin and the rest of the whole Fort 9 group could not be nicer. Do you guys agree?
Yeah. Yeah. I was really impressed.
Oh, yeah.
Really impressed with Ryan and how many people from they have old film school buddies, but they came from San Luis Obispo. And I taught them about San Luis Obispo and Weird Al Yankovic. And getting to actually just barely, I touched the bike just tiny with my index finger.
Yeah. So they had, they had one or two of the bikes there. One of the
One.
bikes there,
Yeah.
the Ducati's there. As he pointed out, he goes, we did this a year ago. Ducati hasn't asked for it back yet. We're waiting for them to realize we still have it. But the movie was great, and we had seen the unfinished product before, so we got to see the final product. It was a sold out movie, and they were doing a second later showing that was also sold out. So big
Oh,
successful
fantastic.
event, and they were there to greet everyone, say hi. We talked to Ryan. I asked him why the name change from Fast Way Around. I'm like, was there a lawsuit or something? He goes, no, we just had a meeting and wanted to avoid a lawsuit from Long Way Round Group. So we just changed to Yalla Habibi. Kat, you want to tell everyone what Yalla Habibi means?
Yalla Habibi means, come on, little brother. Yalla Ramallah is what we always say when we're trying to get the bikes rolling when we're in Spain, because a lot of them do tours in Morocco. So this is standard Arabic phrasing. Yalla is what you tell your goats, your sheep, your cows, to get a move on, your camels. So it's a standard phrase, but Yalla Habibi, it means, come on, little brother, let's go.
Yeah, so it was a great viewing. We got to not just, talk to them, hang out, get pictures, but then also watch the movie. And then they did a Q&A afterwards took questions from the audience. And what was really nice was to be able to talk to not just Ryan and Connor, give them feedback and thanks for the passes they gave us to be there.
Yeah.
But to talk to Edwin, the filmmaker. He's the one, especially when you see this movie and you realize he rode on the back and filmed everything, which was incredible that they're setting a record. And it's not like he can take the time and set up shots. And he's wanting to get more shots. And they're like, we have to go. And it was a constant struggle for what he achieved.
Yeah.
And for the amount of saddle time on the back seat was amazing.
Was that a record?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was the backseat, was the pillion a record?
I
That's gotta
don't
be a
know
record.
that they're, I don't know. I mean,
Anyway,
There
I
was
know it
some
was
sort of record
discussed.
that he said, I'm sure, but it wouldn't have been the around the world record because he didn't do all the segments because of
That's
the visa
right, because
issues.
he got stuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can attest many, many years ago, 40 years ago over, I rode a bike from Birmingham, England to the south of Germany and back in a weekend. And there were two of us that did it. We both had pillions. And we had to ride very, very quickly because there was a ferry crossing involved and so on and so forth. But the pillion riders had a very, very different experience than the riders.
yeah.
It's not always the most pleasant place to be.
No.
Because,
So-
you're riding a bike and you're constantly consumed by the concentration it takes to ride the thing. Whereas your pillion doesn't have that, and they can reflect on how much their arse hurts or how much,
Well,
How the camera blows around.
While operating a drone. I mean,
Right.
Maybe that's what made
exactly.
it easy, was having something to do.
Yes.
So that was a really great event. And it was nice just to meet them and realize it's
So,
really that nice.
I'm curious because you are is it cinemaphile? What's someone who really appreciates film, etc. Is what you saw change from the raw footage that we saw compared to the final product?
The editing was pretty much done. What he had to do was put in what we saw had placeholders for graphics. And so this was the final with the graphics with maps and animations and stuff like that.
So I guess, but better question is, what editing in the movie did you really appreciate?
So this is great. I actually got to talk to Edwin and be able to give him some feedback. And my feedback was
it unsolicited?
in the first 15 minutes, there was a scene where they're at
That's a yes.
a toll booth and they're trying to go through what do you call it? A country.
It was like a border crossing.
border crossing.
Border crossing, yeah.
And they're all talking, and then the toll booth opens and everything stopped. And is this edit of there's chaos in the music, and then the guy opens it up and leans out, and you're like, oh, okay, listen to what the man's saying. It was just this little tiny moment, but the way it was all edited to this crescendo, and then just was really cool. And the choice of the music on one of the scenes,
I thought the music was really good.
Music
was
is right.
really good. So it was so great to give him this feedback on specific choices, and I think he appreciated
Did they
it.
do the rock and roll soundtrack or the classical or the doo-wop?
They had a mix of everything. It was nice. What Liza was lucky enough to see is something that we called picture lock. I mean, they'd reached all the edits, but they haven't done the graphical overlays yet. So the final version that we saw in the movie theater was with the graphical overlays.
Yeah.
So, but
So-
reaching picture lock's a big deal. So
What was fun, I was sitting next to some of Ryan's cousins who are maybe early 20s, right? And they don't ride at all. And I'm like, do you know how famous Ryan is? They're like, we're starting to figure it out. The family had no clue.
Huh?
Yeah. So, great time. And again, hanging out with Smokey and Wendy. Really cool people.
Smokey and Wendy is a great name, I got to say. How was the food? Did you guys have some good Pacific Northwest?
oh yeah.
We ate at a Dutch restaurant.
Oh, that was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I spent a fair amount of time at the Brass Fish. There's a lot of really expensive corporate restaurants there for people in suits. And yeah, you're not going to get a table. And no, just go look for, it's a standard equation. Anytime you need some food and you need some good eats, go to where the mid-level or poor folk are going, because that's where you're going to get some good chow and get seated.
So conveniently, we ate at the sushi restaurant next door to the.
Cheers to that.
Theater.
That was good ramen.
But yeah, shout out to Fort 9. I know that they're releasing Yalla Habibi, where you can pay to see it. And I've heard people already trying to organize to get the film to come to their city. And I think you can reach out to them and book the film and rent a theater and show it.
I want to see this at Sundance.
Cool.
I want it to go to Sundance. I want it to go to Cannes. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about the movie is he was happy the whole time almost.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I can
Well,
do
there's some
11 or
creative
12,
editing
I
there,
can
but-
do 11 or 12 hours on a comfortable bike. But then I'm kind of done for like a while. He was so happy. So inspiring.
He's
and
like
it was
that.
sincere. You're like, I want to ride motorcycles more.
And that's the thing, the Charlie and Evan films.
Mhm.
God, they get so depressed.
Oh, yeah.
Just beat up. Right?
Oh, God, I wish I were dead. And, it was refreshing. And, I mean, I wasn't part of the interview because if you remember, I had the sickness. So I wasn't part when they were on the show. Which
You had the plague, darling.
Oh, yeah.
I told you that once you sent it. I just told you to shut up. Just don't say anything.
Well, pneumonia ain't no joke.
I will say though that Connor seemed like he got the full Ewan and Charlie experience. He was hating life for a while on that trip.
Yeah, really?
That's true.
Okay.
You saw the
And
juxtaposition.
I did ask, and he did recover afterwards, so that was good.
But you need that kind of teamwork. You need the crazy dreamer out front, and you need the person in back going, excuse me. And that person is going to be the person that goes, this sucks. Meanwhile, the cameraman's going, yeah, could you say that again? Because that was really good.
I'm going to say that as big of an accomplishment as that record was, that the making of the film to the finished product is the bigger accomplishment.
Yeah. Telling the story.
I think that Edwin is really the hero here. I mean, they did a great thing, but the movie was really well done.
He is Habibi. He's the little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet if you saw them on their darkest moment on the bike, they'd be like, yeah, editing is fucking easy, bro. It's right grinding out here in the dark after 17 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, it was a great movie, great film, great project.
Yeah.
Emma,
Yeah, they did more.
But to hear him talk about the edit too, though, I mean, the amount of footage that he had from all the different cameras, like because they didn't just have like the big movie camera on his shoulder, like they had cameras on the bikes, on their persons, on drones, they did all kinds of stuff with all sorts of footage, which was kind of comical when they got to the borders and they're like being told to shut off the camera.
Turn off the camera, but they've got a camera here.
They always had
here,
the camera still rolling somewhere.
So they just take the hand camera and just point it down, like, no, not filming.
Yeah, but they're still catching audio, which is good.
It was good. Well, Emma, you may not have been at that event.
Yes.
But fortunately, you're here now.
Yes.
So you get to open up the Christmas present that was sent.
Is that the bag I see with Mr. Christmas
I saved
on
the
it?
address. If you can say who we got a present from.
I can. And this is a present from Zachary Cyphers.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
In Seattle.
I exist.
In Seattle, Washington.
This was quite a
Cheers.
surprise. We got a Christmas
Yeah, that's
present.
awesome.
So I'm
love
going
presents.
to delve into the Christmas sack.
Go deep.
So Santa has emptied his Christmas sack into my
I see
Christmas,
the holly berries.
Christmas
I
box.
see the holly berries
Phrasing.
on the outside
Phrasing.
of the bag.
And then we're gonna delve into Santa's sack.
I hope something out of that bag goes into Matt's mouth.
Oh, remove the speculum.
Harley Davidson hat.
Oh, that's dope.
Keep that hat away from my mouth.
In fashion, in fashionable grey. I like this hat because it's not a snapback hat. It's a nice fitted hat.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a cap. Yeah.
Yes, it's a cap.
See, Matt, does it fit you? Not your mouth, but your head. Dude, you look good in that hat. I kind of like it.
Also,
I think Matt just got a new hat.
I think Matt just got a new hat.
genuine quality Harley
Grow into
Davidson.
it.
Stampede.
Oh.
From
From Texas?
Texas?
What size is that?
Which Texas?
What size is that?
Harley Davidson factory.
It's
team.
Emma size.
Yes, right. All right.
Are you keeping that, Emma?
I am.
Okay.
Because I shall wear it when I ride my super glide.
Who's
And
got
make
the
sure you have your
biggest
cowboy
head?
hat?
Oh, it's a purse. Is that a man purse? More Harley Davidson branded products.
I think we got a Harley Davidson gift pack.
We love Harley
Okay.
Davidson gift packs.
No, this is definitely.
Look at you could
Oh, it's got the
fit you
stripe,
could
huh?
fit like easily a half a pound of heroin in there.
It's a
Yeah.
backpack for your Chihuahua.
Make your run to Laughlin.
Yeah, remember to put the
Chihuahua.
cap.
Or a
Gotta have the plastic
Chihuahua,
caps on the
Bagel.
needles.
It's a
folks.
mini backpack.
Oh, Harley Davidson keychain, which is very nice.
Oh, it looks big.
It
Like America.
it
That's
is.
a freedom
You can
keychain.
hurt somebody with
Yeah.
that keychain.
My God, it is huge. It's
Is it a
Harley
Christmas
Davidson.
ornament?
It's huge.
It is number 1, which is the classic Harley Davidson logo, which is the number 1 with the stars and stripes.
Different than the European good luck number 1.
Oh, is that a poker chip in there also?
Yeah, and a poker chip.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Very
I want to open this up so we can get a good look at it.
But now we can't regift it, Emma.
Yeah, we can. Do you really want to
Terrible.
re-gift that?
Ah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, let's see. Oh, is that the red, white, and blue one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got dibs. Fuck yeah.
All right,
dude.
here you go.
America, fuck yeah. I'm not going to fight
Ooh,
Emma for that
thanks,
shirt. I
Zach.
can tell you that. She fights with a shoe.
Good job taking one for the team.
For all you listeners, Liza's actually really good at tossing things around the room.
Toss it.
Oh, well, thanks. That's awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you
that's
for the
really
gift.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some stickers.
It's only slightly better
Harley Davidson stickers involving a bird's wing with ride-free circle.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, by no means least, and this is the largest box,
Ooh, what is it? What is it?
Oh, I think I know what's coming.
Oh.
It's a puzzle.
Oh.
this is a Harley Davidson
Oh, get out.
collector's puzzle.
Oh, no.
That
Wait,
is cool.
is that a square puzzle or a round puzzle?
It looks like
It's a round puzzle.
Oh, no
Yeah,
corners.
No corners. Oh, you nailed it.
Yeah.
And it's poker chip. It's poker chip.
That's
That is
neat.
dope.
It
I've never
has
seen a round puzzle.
1,000 pieces, and it is 26.5 inches round, which is about the circumference of Jim's head.
Emma.
Do you,
All right, who wants a puzzle?
Emma, do you see any
I'll
Harley
take the puzzle
Davidson
if nobody wants
motorcycles
it.
on
Yeah,
there
take
you
it.
recognize?
Merry Christmas.
Awesome.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
one. Good score. It's like a white elephant party.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, what a lovely bunch of gifts. And I am thrilled to be able to wear this T-shirt. And it's my color,
It is.
blue. I always feel very special when I wear blue.
I like a deep blue, like a navy blue. It's a good color.
Yeah.
Well, it brings your eyes out.
Oh, well, thank you, darling.
Yeah.
It's red,
I'm gonna
like
bring you
my
out.
eyes.
Ain't these eyes telling you?
How do you like your coffee, Emma?
Bitter.
Black, like my men.
Just like your men.
I like it bitter.
Bitter.
Hot and bitter.
So, how about let's get to a topic tonight?
Yes.
I think we should.
Half the people here have no idea what we're about to talk about. And I honestly don't know where this conversation is going to go, but this is
Oh, dear.
really the kind of how the podcast started. Things that we just bring up and start
Yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
about in the garage.
Good.
So I saw an article recently about the new Tracer GT.
Hmm.
You know, I'm Tracer curious.
You're triple addicted.
Going to cure you of this, but anyway.
And it has a new feature that no other motorcycle has had before, something that has come from the car industry.
Bring it.
So it's called the LED matrix headlight. Anyone know what this means?
Yeah.
There is
So,
no spoon.
I'm going to describe it. So in practice, it says, the technology works by combining a matrix of multiple low and high beam LEDs
Okay.
linked to a camera integrated into the upper part of the headlight assembly. By detecting surrounding traffic, natural light sources, and weather conditions, it can thereby distribute the light in such a way that it fills in dark spots while not dazzling other road users.
Do you know what this
That's
means?
clever.
It means that Keanu Reeves lives in your headlight now.
Yes.
So the matrix LED
In a
headlight
green
array,
color.
That's what it means.
it works with the onboard 6-axis inertial measurement unit to dynamically adjust the beam when cornering, especially in cases when the bike's lean angle exceeds 7 degrees.
So, a 6-axis inertial device is nothing new on motorcycles, right, Neal? How many motorcycles have a 6-axis inertial device on them now?
Most
At
of them.
least 5 that I can think of. And they're all flagship motorcycles. But my Yamaha
has one. My
Right.
Ducati has one.
So I'm going to try and be the voice of reason on this a little bit because, yes, ultimately it's good.
Yes.
because it's an aid to safety and so on and so forth. So,
Well, hold on. Can I ask a question? So what is it used for on your Ducati?
On my Ducati, it's used to balance the motorcycle suspension.
Okay.
Is this a multistrada?
Yeah, the multistrada, and that's from my 2021. The BMWs do it for the same purpose now with the new GS 1300, and obviously lots of camera equipment has been using this feature for decades.
Right. So it's using it for a different feature, and I kind of like that it can sense where there's dark spots, fill that in without blinding oncoming traffic. It's not just high beam or low beam.
right.
It can actually, using the camera, find the dark spots.
But let me run some scenarios, and we can follow the technology based on scenarios. So, as an example of early technology, we're going to use Rufus, which is a 1994 Ducati Superbike. As an example of modern technology, we're going to use Jim's GSX 1000. What is it? GT.
GSX S1000 GT.
And then we're going to finalize with the Tracer.
Mhm.
So we're riding along on Rufus. It has high and low beam. It's got an upgraded headlight, so it's got 100 watts main. It's got 80 watts dip. It's a good headlight, and it serves the purpose very well. However, I need to be very mindful.
But also, headlights on motorcycles are canted one direction.
Well, yes.
Well, they're either attached to the forks or the frame.
Or the frame.
No, but they're designed not to blind people on coming lanes. So they, in our country, they lean more to the right.
It's turned away, but on high beam, you get a good spread. But of course, if someone's coming towards you, you need to be quite handy with the dip beam. The disadvantage is it's very, very manual control. Cars coming towards you, you have to shift onto low beam, and you deal with the lack of visibility you get, and it's quite sudden. Because if you've been trucking along, let's say we're on Highway 1 at night, and we've gone through Davenport, and we're blasting along towards Santa Cruz, and we're doing how me and Jim ride on Highway 1, we're doing about 100, 110, and you've been on high beam, car comes towards you, switch on low beam, and suddenly you've got considerably less.
You really can't see.
Right.
No.
I mean,
You've
like,
got to roll.
whatever you
Especially-
see is already behind you.
So now you're rolling back and you're losing speed. So that doesn't fly.
Well, also when you're leaning, because a lot of these headlights now cast horizontally, it leans down, so you're losing the distance.
Well,
because it's
But you
now aiming at the ground.
you can adapt, especially if it's been on high beam, because you know it's coming. But now we're going to go up the evolutionary scale to Jim's GSX, which has got projector beam lights on it and LEDs.
And they're quite bright, I'll say, but they suck at night.
And they give a good spread of beam, but nevertheless, they suck at night. So, well,
I heard that
here's what
the
I'll say.
Acropolis, you can get a good
On
spread.
twisties, if I'm on
It
a
also
straight
sucks at night.
road, that bike lights it up. And I should have prefaced it with this, but when I'm on like if I come over Highway 17 at night, and it's a twisty mountain freeway, you just can't see in the corners.
right.
No, I'm
And you
always
might-
Especially
flipping
to the
high
left.
beam on.
So,
And I think of Mike
Yeah.
Beck, you might hit a porcupine.
so well, but we'll finalize with one of the major
But I jumped
advantages. We'll finalize with one of the major advantages of Rufus is if I have headlight problems, I walk into O'Reilly, I lay down about $10, I get a headlight bulb, do a little bit of gymnastics with my fingers up inside the fairing, and I'm rolling and I'm $10 poorer. You have a slight disadvantage. If one of the projector beam capsules goes out, you're about $100 poorer. If the LED portion of the light goes out, you're about $300 to $400 poorer.
And I'm not sure if you're considering labor.
But if you
'cause
hit
if
you hit a porcupine, you're out quite a lot more.
I mean, that's the story.
Now-
of the
Ah,
thing.
there you go.
But to get to the headlight on my bike, it's not finger
Right.
ninja stuff. You're taking
You're taking
bunch of
stuff
off.
Now, this headlight you're talking about, we've moved up the evolutionary scale a huge amount. And we're talking about a matrix, so it's got multiple LEDs within, which basically means it's a sealed unit. So any single failure of an LED within will render the unit useless. And I would put money, we are talking $1,000 to $2,000 for a replacement. And I stand to be corrected, but the moment it goes into production, I will make a point on this podcast of looking up the part number of that headlight and telling you the retail. And it's going to straighten your hair. I'm going to tell you that for nothing.
I'm hoping it borrows the same technology they use for some newer televisions that have zone-controlled backlight LEDs. You know,
yeah, but if you know Japanese manufacturers,
it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, but if you know Japanese manufacturers like I do, they will put individual components and then bond them all into one.
Right.
And so you don't get the choice. If you get clever, now you can get a heat gun and you can actually start separating the lens off the headlight and melting the glue and pulling the LEDs out and then popping off down to, Circuit Shack and getting new. But I mean, in the world that we live in,
Farkle.
Here's what Emma said in the garage. She said, there's a line and they've crossed it.
no, I didn't
talk about this.
I didn't
This
actually
headlight will
say
not
that.
stand.
I said you have to, at some stage, you have to draw a line and say the cost of this technology for the consumer really goes beyond its usefulness as a bike. That said, I mean
Emma, can you equate the cost of the lives lost to people who hit something in the road because they couldn't see it?
Well, I mean, a single life lost, but
I'm just saying it is a safety feature.
That's kind of a setup question. The obvious answer is one life lost is too many.
Yeah, exactly. It's too
But
many.
we ride motorcycles. It's a dangerous game.
Are we making the Pinto gas tank
But
calculation?
I ride according to my headlight. You ride according to your headlight.
I ride according to what I can see.
Right.
Right.
And that's the
saying.
golden rule. I mean, I'm the only person in this room who holds a commercial license. And a golden rule of a commercial license, if you're driving a 60,000 pound vehicle down the road, you do not drive beyond the headlights. Because if you can't stop in the distance you can see.
And big rigs have good headlights.
Yeah, exactly. And Greyhounds have amazing headlights.
Emma's got pretty good headlights too.
I know, right?
I see. Wait. Liza's
high beams just turned on.
Liza's going to be winning the motorboat competition later.
But here's my argument for that. You're saying that you're pricing people out of this bike.
Well, we don't know what the price is going to be yet, but we know it's going to be.
Assuming it's expensive. And I say, fine. That's why you put it on one or a few, not all bikes.
Oh, yeah.
Because they still make affordable bikes that are simple. They still have it, but have the one that has all the safety stuff. Great.
I mean, that said, there will be Chinese knockoffs of this very quickly, and it won't be expensive.
Bagel, question from the cheap
Something the
seats.
Chinese could do fairly well without issue.
And also, since this is a new technology, rather than to this approach you described, where they kind of glue it all together into this big unit that costs a lot of money, couldn't there be possibilities for manufacturers to make things in a more modular way, so that there are replaceable components, so that if one LED goes out, you can just swap it out like you would a light bulb, for $20, rather than $200, $300, $400, $500 for a unit.
I don't think there's that.
I think it would make it too expensive and too vibration prone if each LED could be unplugged.
And there's no incentive for them to do it.
I feel like I talk about Christmas lights.
Yeah, why would they? Why would they do that? There's zero incentive.
Because you have to introduce it at some point to then make it more and more common. That then brings the cost down.
Yeah, with the big LEDs that are used for lighting like that, there's cooling issues. So getting a good bond to the substrate and getting the heat out is really important. And you can't do that if they're pluggable.
Okay. As a super geek, I am very excited to try this technology, but this is another answer as to why men farkle. And I would say it's because, I want to try the new toy. I want to see it work. I want to play with it. But you're damn straight. I want another set of lights on that bike that's just standard LEDs pointing forward.
It's like I remember doing the hooligan ride to the Vampires once, and there's a guy who just loves to wheelie, and he had another headlight on the bottom of his bike. So when he had
That's
wheelied, it faced
That's
down
right.
the
It
street.
should have like
I'm
a dragon skull.
Brilliant.
That's planning ahead.
I know.
Well, here's what I was going to say is it like right now, if I was going to ride over Highway 17 at whatever, 6 or 7 o'clock at night when it's dark, I would want headlights that worked better on my bike.
This might be a good selling feature.
My bike's modern. It's got projection headlights. They're bright as fuck. But when you're in turns and twisties, there's a lot you don't see. And that's why I don't ride at night as much anymore. But
I worry about fallen branches, rocks that's come down.
Because modern sport bike lights suck in twisties.
How much
do?
So you commute on your bike on the regular, right?
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 days a week? Or?
Yeah, well, I would say 3 to 4 days a week.
Yeah, same
I'm
as
over
me.
the hill. But I've stopped at night because you just can't see that well.
I can tell that none of you have ridden behind a Lucas headlight.
No.
Right.
So Lucas, especially
Prince of Darkness.
a 6-volt Lucas headlight actually has a beam which
I was a kid,
comes out of the headlight and turns through 90 degrees and illuminates the front fender of the bike. That's the beam.
That's what all of Lotus all the Lotus vehicles were made with Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
Emma, I get your point, because in the car world, I mean, some of the components on cars, like, again, getting a headlight, gone are the days where you just swap out the bulb from behind. Right. It's now a whole sealed unit, and it can be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I get it. But I also think that this is that plateau or that shelf where you introduce something new, and then it becomes more and more common and the price comes down.
Yeah, and I mean, I always take a far more stoic approach because I like the whole satisfaction of ownership. And that encompasses many things. Mm-hmm. How nice is your bike to ride? How safe is it to ride? How does it make you feel when you're riding it?
Cost of ownership.
But when you take it in for service and you get that bill, if you're literally having a fucking coronary because you see the bill to do routine maintenance on your bike, you've got to factor into ownership too.
Mm-hmm. So something I think might resonate with Emma, maybe, I'm going to go on a limb here, is were there things that the original Goldwing did that back then seemed to be a little much,
yes,
but may have been incorporated since then that kind of makes sense now? Because the Goldwing was a bit of a revolutionary
air ride
bike.
Suspension.
Yeah, and I mean,
stuff.
We've had this conversation many times before. We've had it about ABS brakes. We've had it about traction control. We have had it about anti-dive. Me and Neal were talking about anti-dive. We've had it about many things, about fuel injection. And I mean, ultimately, these things have become mainstream. I remember when ABS first came out, I don't need ABS. I'll ride around it. ABS is for poor riders. If you know how to ride a bike, you don't need ABS. This was the conversation back then. Yes, it was 20 years ago.
I was halfway across in that, we need it for the big touring bikes. But why would they put it on the Ninja 300? That's dumb, But
now here it is. It's probably one of the most valuable tools novice riders can have. Are we breeding a generation of shitty motorcycle riders because of technology? I don't think so. They're just different.
Well, the learning curve isn't as punishing. High sighting is punishing.
So,
and there's going to be an extra curve for those riders to be able to learn how to ride a vintage bike safely that doesn't have ABS.
If they want to.
If they want to.
Gixxer 1000?
Yeah, I mean, but that's the difference.
So I wanted to talk about some of the other new technology that's coming. For instance, on my KTM, I have cruise control. It is a little clip I bought. It's a clamp that goes onto the throttle that gets stuck onto the brake. Yeah, it's just the simplest little thing.
I had one of those on my KLR.
Kat, do you have cruise control in your Ducati?
Yes.
Is it adaptive?
Yes.
Explain that.
The adaptive cruise control on the Multistrada uses LiDAR in front, which is what should be on the Teslas and isn't anymore. And it measures the distance between you and the vehicle in front, and you can decide how far away from the vehicle in front of you want to be, and you set your cruise control accordingly.
That is cool. And that's something that came out of cars too. I think I didn't realize there's
my car
BMWs, Ducatis
Volvo.
that have the adaptive so that it will sense and adjust the speed.
It all goes back.
I know where you're going.
But
It all
it
goes
doesn't go back to cars. It goes back to
it actually doesn't go back to aircraft. It goes back to Greyhound.
before. Really?
And back in the 80s,
this is history,
Greyhound had VORAD. And VORAD was forward-facing radar.
Is this a bald Russian man?
No.
That's what it sounds like.
VORAD. VROAD. VORAD.
Vorad, keep you safe. Do not worry.
So I was lucky enough when I joined Greyhound, they still had a couple of VORAD buses left. And VORAD was forward-facing radar, and it enabled you to set a good following distance. It wasn't adaptive, but it gave you an audible warning if you were too close to the car in front.
Did it actually have actual sperm whale oil in front of the bus?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
But the disadvantage was if you had a highway patrol guy coming towards you and he had his radar on, it would register the bus at doing like 900 miles an hour. And so they kind of, but it's, what Jim was saying, a lot of the technology we take for granted, including anything to do with radar, anything to do with LiDAR, anti-lock brakes, is aircraft technology. It starts with aircraft technology, often military aircraft technology.
Actually starts in the space program and then triples down.
And then just kind of trickles its way down. ABS predates the space program by a lot of things. That goes back to the Second World War. Yeah. B-17s and Lancasters and short Sterlings and all big things like that.
Stop teasing.
That you couldn't be skidding off the runway. But it basically starts up there and kind of goes down to the mainstream. So either NASA or aerospace.
Emma, do you think the adaptive cruise control is crossing that line?
No, I don't, because it's actually a very useful thing. Having ridden a BMW 1300 with adaptive cruise control on, it's very, very handy. It gives you, so there's two ways of approaching this. You can say it's technology for technology's sake, and we can agree with that. It's making you a lazier rider, which I also agree with. But it isn't necessarily a bad thing because it's taking the responsibility away from you so you can concentrate on other things.
All right.
So if you Keith Code's $10 bill.
If you regard the task at hand at getting home safely to your wife, husband, dog, cat, children, reptiles, whatever, if that is your ultimate goal, the more the bike does for you so you can concentrate on the task at hand, including headlights, adaptive cruise control, all of those things, it's better. I'm always very, very wary of technology that encroaches into the bike because it's always in the back of my head, what happens when it goes wrong? Mm-hmm. Now, adaptive cruise control is a perfect example. That is working with the ECU of the bike. So what it's basically doing is when you get close within a parameter of the vehicle in front, it's telling the ECU to shut down power, either by retarding the ignition or fuel retardation or fuel pressure, and it's slowing the bike down. So if it's encroaching on the ECU and it goes wrong, it's going to kill your bike. There and then. Your bike's going to just die. And that's, I'm not sure, you know?
Well, it depends on how the ECU is designed, and if it's a throttle-by-wire, there's a whole discussion of the software stack that goes in these things. But yeah,
I can tell you how this evolves on the track, because my last track I just rode was the Portimao, and this is a feature that is on the S1000RR, and we're there to learn the track and we're there to train. We're not there to race. So if you ride the exact same line as the guy in front of you as you're diving into turn 3, all of a sudden that the sensor on the bike is going to go emergency braking. It's going to hit the brakes. But you know what? You should not be doing the exact same line as the guy in front of you. You should be doing a slightly different line because you may want to pass him. Or someone else is following, they want to be doing a slightly different line. So if you're truly track training, instead of being out there racing with your buddies, if you're racing with your buddies, you turn it off.
That's not how Rossi rode.
Well, okay, but but when he's training, you're always riding you always want to ride a different line. So you're looking for a place to get around. You want to
ride their ass and wait for a mistake.
Well, yeah, that's racing. That's racecraft. Right. But if you're trying to learn how to ride the bike, then and also pass safely, you should not be taking the exact same line. And so I explained that to the people in our program when we're over in Europe. It says, take advantage of that. Pay attention to the bike. And there's going to come a time when you switch to race mode and you turn that off. And, that's when it's game on. And that's when your racecraft encroaches. But for training purposes, the bike is actually telling you, you should not be riding the same line as the guy in front of you.
Well, just like many of these features we talked about, like fuel injection and ABS that trickle down to just about every bike. I want to talk about, there are some more that are features that are kind of new and different, that all these things may eventually trickle down to every single bike. In fact, this next one is something that's on a very affordable bike.
Yeah.
And I don't know that anyone else's bike has this feature.
Gee, I wonder what bike.
On my CF Moto.
Oh, God. Of course it's their CF Moto.
On my CF Moto, it has an app. And on this app, I have many features. Like I can go to settings and I can put a geofence on the bike. I can set a vibration alert. So it'll tell me if the bike is moved. I have a low fuel alert. I have a fatigue warning alert. I have a reminder that the bike has been hasn't moved for 15 days. High engine RPM warning or an overheated engine warning. The bike talks to my phone.
Some of these things are available on BMW right now. The you're fatigued thing, that I've only seen in cars. So good on you.
Also, it keeps track of the tracks it's been on. It has its own BMW GPS.
Yeah, BMW.
But this is on a under $10,000 bike.
Yes.
And I think this is pretty neat technology.
Well, hang on.
Have you seen something like this format?
I love every feature on there, except I'm very aware if my bike hasn't moved in 15 days.
Well, there you go.
Thank you very much, Mr. Application.
But once again, I'm going to sound not an alarm bell, but a cautionary note on technology, because we can kind of lose sight of what becomes important. And as always, I'm going to use an example that isn't necessarily motorcycle related, but I think it'll resonate with everyone here. Today I talked to my brother, which is a occasion in itself because he's complete shit. He really is. But nevertheless,
but you like him.
I do. I love him dearly because he's my big brother.
But you piss in his tea,
and he takes very good care of me. Oh God, yes, give him half the chance. But he's an absolute arrogant shit, and just generally a scourge of humanity, a fiend in human shape, I should add. However,
I was on a Zoom call with him during COVID. I thought I was on Top Gear.
Yeah, there you go.
I think he had his girlfriend in the car.
So, he recently bought his wife a new car, and not a brand new car, but a newish car. It's a 2022 Ford. I think it's kind of middle-sized Ford. I think it's Fusion or something.
So it's an Opel.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Moira has an extensive CD collection.
Okay.
That car, like every other car sold in the UK, does not have a CD player.
Oh, well, that's easy. You just Bluetooth it.
Yeah, but
yeah,
now
because they don't need them anymore. That's right.
Right, because it talks
to a USB
with
drive.
your phone.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that is an evolutionary step or a devolutionary step?
No.
Evolutionary, because you can rip all that stuff to a single thumb drive.
Yeah, because
and
it's
just
all
plug
on
it
your
in.
phone
Yeah,
now.
but what happens to people who've spent their life building up a CD collection?
You keep them at home in a vault.
Hold
Yeah,
on, hold
exactly.
on, hold on. This
I'm
is
just
hold on,
saying that
Emma.
technology for its sake.
Emma,
Yeah.
did you have records?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have cassettes?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have CDs?
Yes.
So
Did you
you
have
bought the same music over and over and over, didn't you?
Well, I like
So
to
this is the
think that
next
my-
step.
8 tracks.
So yes, this is the evolution.
And it doesn't cost you anything to rip it, so you don't have to buy it again.
No, I think
Other
having
than
the
time.
option.
In fact, I've got CD players in both my cars because they're both old. And I now download and burn CDs to play in my cars.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So-
kind of
What
cool.
the fuck do you burn a
But-
CD on?
Yeah, just put a thumb.
Do you have an AOL account?
iTunes. iTunes. I still have my old iTunes account. Anyway, so yeah, the CF Moto has an app, and just like some of these other brands, I think this is something that is great technology that I think is going to come into more bikes. I don't think it adds a lot of
So-
money.
Well,
I'll add a caution, though. So car makers have been selling your location data to insurance companies for some time now. So they record things like hard stops, hard acceleration, distance traveled, all these things. And supposedly they, quote unquote, anonymize the data, but they don't.
They don't.
And the insurance companies are using this as a lever to jack up your rates. So you have to be careful about what is going on with the data, who's collecting it, who's selling it.
I didn't know you were into conspiracy theories.
This isn't a conspiracy. There's lawsuits,
Okay.
class action lawsuits
Interesting.
going on about this
I could
stuff.
tell you what's going on with the global distribution systems within the travel industry as well.
Okay.
Midnight transfers.
Well,
between it,
wait.
but anyway, we're okay. But what's most joyous about this, dear listeners, is you've just watched us argue about technology like a bunch of fat slags at a pie bake-off, and I hope it's been fun.
I want to, there's a couple more that I think are pretty cool. And I think
Here we go.
maybe you have a bike that has self-leveling suspension.
Yes.
You want to explain that?
Self-leveling suspension. It's using the same devices as Emma explained, so that my bike plants itself properly on both the front and the rear, so we get adequate traction on both. It's lovely. The GS started doing it with the new 1300. The Multistrada started.
So
in
better
2012.
control in turns.
Well, better control in turns, but you have consistent traction the whole time. Although technically, the tennilever on the BMW has helped with that for quite a while without any electronics involved.
Emma, has it crossed the line?
It's been around for a lot longer than you think in various different forms. We go back to the Goldwing. The Goldwing had a very, very early form of self-leveling suspension that when it had a pillion, there was a mechanical linkage that actually sent a signal to the rear shocks, jacked up the rear shocks. And
That's so
there was
clever.
a brake proportioning
Mechanical
valve
linkage.
that was allowed more braking pressure to the rear because it had link brakes, because you had more traction on the rear because you had a pillion. So it's been around for a while. Is it beneficial? Yes. Does it make the bike more pleasant? Yes. Is it going to cost far more money when it breaks? Yes.
Okay.
So we've always got to factor this in. How reliable is it? Well, pretty much.
That ties into proportional braking that you just mentioned. Can you just explain proportional braking?
Proportional braking is normally we don't talk about proportional braking on motorcycles because we have separate systems. We have front brake, which not surprisingly operates the front brakes, and then we have a pedal, which not unsurprisingly operates the rear brakes, and the two were separated. Now, there have been exceptions to this rule. One of the very early pioneers of multi-stage braking were Moto Guzzi. And if you ever ride a very early Moto Guzzi, which had triple discs, if you honk on the rear pedal, it operates the rear and one front disc. The hand lever operates the final front disc. So if you're not used to that, if you're a heavy front braker like I am and you just kind of tidy things up with a rear brake, you can't get away with that on an early goosey. You have to be mashing down on the rear pedal as much as the front.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, but it kind of works in its own way. And a lot of it's to do with, brake, the weight of the bike and the way it's actually laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the very early days, in the mid-'70s and the early '70s, when it came up, when really at the crucible of when Moto Guzzi were putting discs on these bikes, they said, well, there it is. That's what you get. Now it evolved. And they realized that when you put a passenger on the bike, it changes. Things change. Now you've got more traction on the rear and less traction on the front because all the weight's on the back. So now they put a mechanical valve on the swing arm. So basically when the swing arm moved up, it took braking power away from the front and put it in the rear. Purely mechanical. There was nothing electrical about it.
You know, I had a truck that had that kind of I had a Jeep Comanche truck.
Very common in the car industry.
Yeah.
Very common. Mostly in trucks.
Anti-lock.
Yeah. Mostly in trucks because trucks are one of the few things that change their weight drastically when they have a load, like motorcycles. If you take a heavyweight motorcycle at 500 pounds, when you put 150 pounds on the back of it, theoretically, you're adding over 25% more weight in a very specific area. So it changes the weight distribution of the bike quite drastically. Cars are quite different because cars weigh a great deal without anybody in them. And unless you weigh 400 pounds and there's four of you, it really doesn't change that much. It's the same with buses.
Well, this is America we're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's true. Buses are very heavy by their nature. An empty bus weighs 60,000 pounds because they're built heavy. They're really built very heavily. And you fill them up with people and it doesn't change the weight of the bus that much. Trucks are different. Trucks are built very lightweight, so you can load them up with cargo. So it's cause and effect. But yeah, proportional braking is the amount of pressure that you are applying to the rear in relation to the front. Mm-hmm. So it's a peculiarity of link brakes. Now, we've talked about Honda link brakes before.
VFR.
And I'm predating the VSR back to the Hurricanes of the early 90s. Yep. And the way Honda did it, it was very, very clever, the Honda system, because yes, it had anti-dive and it had a proportioning valve. And each caliper had 6 pistons. No, 3 pistons, and it was a sliding caliper. But the way they tweaked the system, all the pistons were different diameter, every single one. So if you want to do a brake job on a Hurricane with link brakes, you really need your wits about you.
That's a lot of valve seals.
Oh,
because each piston is its own size. Yeah. Each seal is its own size. Yeah. And that's how they tweaked the system. But it was very, very clever system and completely mechanical.
So are you for the proportional braking? Or is this another thing that maybe is cross that line?
Oh. It's it all falls into the same category.
Well, now you can do it with an active system that takes advantage of the ABS hardware.
Yeah, well, it's become electronic. I mean, I think the reason I wanted to make a point, these systems were purely mechanical. Now it's become...
I get it, because in the 90s, I had a GPZ 1100.
Yes.
And the ABS brain, the Magic Smoke came out.
Yes.
Try to find one.
Couldn't.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, why does it have to have this? I wish it just had the standard brakes. Well, guess what it had when the ABS brain died? Standard brakes.
Right.
But I understood then because that was new technology.
But right now...
Now I want it on every bike.
Right now, I know one of my customers at the shop has an absolutely drop-dead immaculate GPZ 1100 B1. And the B1 is the one with the twin shocks and the coffin-shaped tank, not the Batmobile.
It's the bomber.
And the big instrument pack. And this thing has got no miles on it. No miles on it. Wow. It's absolutely immaculate. And it's dead. And it will never run again because it's got the DFI on it.
Right.
And the brain's gone out for the fuel injection.
Yeah.
And there are none.
They're none.
There are none.
Is the DFI
fuel injection.
like a dual not resuscitate?
Yes. Digital fuel injection.
Yeah.
I mean, it works completely analog digitally.
The
It's
brains on
crazy.
these things were like...
Yeah, I mean, seriously,
It was a
the
black
brain is like the size of a shoebox. It's amazing.
Huge.
Well,
But it's gone.
Yeah.
And there are none. So his bike is dead. And, yeah, you know...
Well, there's got to be a
what do they
boffin
could
somewhere
probably
who's working on
retrofit?
it.
Hold on, Bagel, say that again?
I was going to say, there's got to be a boffin somewhere who's working on that.
Exactly. I was going to say a retrofit solution, like off a race bike
Give it
or
to a
something like
student
that.
project in Berkeley.
Well,
Give it to Alex, the diesel Harley guy.
right? Yeah. What I kind of just thinking about
Sorry.
what we're talking about when I'm imagining all these features, and I don't know what to make of this, but just a comment is they typically seem to be found on more expensive sport touring bikes. So these aren't entry-level bikes. They're not intermediate bikes. Like if I'm a newer rider and I'm getting an FC6 or I'm getting an R6 or I'm getting a dual sport or something, I'm not worried about linked breakage. But if I'm hauling ass and I'm going to get a concourse, I might want linked brakes. I might want adaptive stuff because I've got more money to spend.
There you go.
And that's the kind of writing I'm doing. So I think where we may come back to, him and I were talking about this earlier, as long as there's option for the cheap, none of that. But we talked about like AI. I don't really appreciate AI getting forced on me for a number of reasons, yet it is. And it's costing me money. It's costing the environment. It's costing all these things. I'm not talking about the benefits and whatnot. But I think as long as there's an option for an analog bike, like I don't do the type of riding that I need the technology that y'all are talking about. I just cruise around on the weekends and have a great time. And I want to buy a bike for under $8,000.
So here's the rub.
Said the man on a jigsaw.
Do you think...
Well, I'm old now, so I can do that.
Do you think that having access to bikes with this technology, with ABS, with traction control, with self-leveling suspension, with adaptive features, is making newer riders poorer?
So I don't know the answer. What I will say, and it's maybe because we grew up in the 70s, but falling off the monkey bars onto hard asphalt hurts. You learn, snatching a front brake and eating shit at a low speed. You learn. So I think, the first real sport bike I had was that FC1, 2012 FC1. It was analog. It was front brakes. It was rear brakes. That was it.
Emma?
And I learned brake control, but would I buy that bike now? No, I want my ABS.
I think that lean angle sensing and ABS linked together is probably one of the key advantages because you're preventing the worst crash, the high side. Mm-hmm. When you lose the rear end and it recatches, over you go.
So I'm going to say that I think what we are doing is we are substituting safety for longevity and affordability. We can still pull a CB750 out of a garage and have it running in an hour, right? But you got a GPZ that's dead. So we're substituting one for the other. So I want to now take this conversation in a little bit different direction. And I want to talk about technology of the past that's ready to come back. For example,
turbo.
For example, in the 70s, you had the Hondamatic. The automatic bikes. Mm-hmm. Would you call it successful, Emma?
Yeah, I mean,
was that the
clunky.
one Prince rode?
Yes.
That was goddamn successful. Come on.
But it was clunky. They put it on a couple bikes. It didn't last, but it was. They tried this new technology. Now, not only does Honda have the DCT, they have the brand new auto clutch.
So
two completely different versions of an automatic that now, like they've brought it back, and now it's better. It's good. And I want to talk about some of the technology of the past that maybe it's time to come back.
Turbo!
Like the turbo. Is it time?
Yes!
For the turbo
It's got to be dual
come
stage.
back.
Turbo is always a prop. Turbo!
Well,
We
there's
like the Mitsubishi.
more and more cars have the turbo now.
Yeah, but
That's because they're downsizing engines.
Exactly.
Yeah, small engines.
If you want to get, it's a very easy way to make something efficient.
Twin turbo, 12-cylinder Lamborghini is not downsized.
Right. If you take
But you get a Chevy Colorado now with
Right.
like a 4-liter or something smaller turbo.
Or even a diesel turbo.
Right. But if you take a
Or if you're
smaller
unlucky enough to
engine
have the
with
turbo
with-
DDI Hyundai
Well,
and
hang on, guys, please. If you take a smaller engine and put a 2-stage turbo on it, you can make as much power as a big engine. And yes, it's going to honk the fuel when it's on full boost. But where you'd be driving it normally, where most of it drive, it's going to drive very, very efficiently. So yes, of course. And I mean,
maybe there's a trade-off. So I think I lost my mic.
You didn't lose your mic. Go ahead, Bagel.
Right.
Bagel, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Bagel.
Well, the thing that I was going to say that I'm encouraged by is a lot of, and this is more in the automotive world, but I'm seeing more electronic superchargers on vehicles where it's an electric motor that controls forced air injection into the intake, where you're not reliant on boost from the exhaust, but you can control how much how much compression goes into the intake at any given time.
Right. So
Well, that was
that's
mechanical before, right? So it just went from mechanical supercharging to electronic.
Should we revisit the difference between the turbo and a supercharger? We've talked about
hypercharger, supercharger, turbo.
Hypercharger's kind of a hype name, if you'll excuse the pun. Very, very briefly, and we've talked about this before, but for those listening who haven't heard it before, your engine, an internal combustion engine, is basically an air pump. It sucks an air-fuel mixture at a very specific ratio, 16 parts air to 1 part fuel, give or take. It gets sucked into the engine, it gets ignited, it gets spat out of the exhaust, and it's that controlled explosion within internal combustion that makes it go. It turns reciprocating movement, which is up and down, into rotary movement, and off you go. And everything's gas and gators. Turbochargers and superchargers do the same thing, but they do it in different methods. Instead of your engine sucking in air fuel, it gets pushed in. And if you push it in under pressure, you get a bigger bang, you get more power, off you go. A turbocharger is an exhaust vane driven turbine. There's a lot of advantages to this because when your engine's working at its hardest, the exhaust pulses are at the most powerful. So this is when it's going to turn your turbo the hardest, the fastest when you need it. Now, back in the old days, when your GPZ was new, and they put a turbo on the 750, same as on the XN85, same on the CX500 turbo,
Yes.
same on the Yamaha.
Yeah, remember when I had the CX500 turbo?
They had honking great turbos that took time to spool up and time to spool down.
The dreaded turbo lag.
Hence the term turbo lag. Now, people would say, well, hang on, what is so terrifying of whacking open the throttle and the turbo coming in half a second later?
Oh, I can tell you. When I rode that bike.
Right. However,
and not only does it takes a minute to spool up, wah,
It's a
now you
high-side
let off
machine.
the throttle and it's not
that's what's
stop.
terrifying.
It's not slowing down right away.
that's the lag that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So now, with the newer generation of turbos that are smaller diameter, there's less of that nonsense. A supercharger does the same thing. It pushes the air-fuel mixture within the engine, and it's mechanically driven. It may be from a belt, it may be through gears, like the Kawasaki H2, which is supercharged, has a gear-driven supercharger.
I'm thinking Mad Max.
Yeah.
Well, Mad Max is the obvious example. However, the thing is with Mad Max, the mistake they made was to imply that your supercharger could have a clutch, and it'd be sitting dormant, and then you pull in the clutch, and then you'd engage the supercharger, and it simply doesn't work that way. You'd need two completely different intake systems. There's a little bit of Hollywood there, however, and then hyperchargers. Hyperchargers are a kind of misused name, but basically a hypercharger is a very fast-spinning supercharger. Normally, superchargers run at 1-to-1 or even 1/2-to-1. So it runs at the same speed as the engine. Turbochargers often spin 5 or 6 times the RPM of the engine. Hyperchargers are mechanically driven like a supercharger, but spin at the kind of same range as a turbocharger. So you're getting up to 8, 9, 10, 15,000 RPM. It may be mechanical, but it may be electrically driven. And the electrically driven ones are advantageous because now you can actually fill in any flat spots on your engine by shoving in a bit more air fuel. And that can be governed by the ECU. And you can say, well, look, at 5,000 RPM, I've got a bit of a flat spot here. So if we dial a hypercharger to give me another 1,000 RPM on the blower, it'll just fill in that flat spot, and you get a nice.
It allows you to completely avoid turbo lag.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So, is it ready to come back?
Oh yeah,
that's my question.
It's always ready.
I saw it in Emma's Goldwing, as a matter of fact.
So, but we haven't seen any bikes with turbo.
Well, we get into the problem. We get into the fundamental problem with bike. Exactly,
with
real estate.
Yeah.
It's real estate, and it's exactly the same reason that electric motorcycles are where they are now. Because if you have a car, if you have a Tesla, if you have God, what's the really posh one? Rivian. A Lucid. These are big cars. Even the little Tesla is a good sized car. You've got lots and lots of real estate.
Yeah, they're
and you open
2 tons plus.
Yeah, and you open the frunk on a little Model 3, it's full. And the floor's full and everything. We don't have that real estate on motorcycles. And the same applies. When you start monkeying around with supercharging and turbocharging, my Goldwing is a great example. From the front of the frame to the back wheel, it's full. It's absolutely full. There's piping, there's intercooling, there's a lot going on there. And it's a big bike. And it's full of shit.
Yeah.
And that's also one of the reasons why hybrid motorcycles never took off, because where do you put all the stuff?
Well, Kawasaki has a hybrid right now. It's not really doing well.
You can buy for dirt cheap.
Yeah. I mean, it's been tried, but it doesn't
right, exactly.
Work.
So we face a unique set of challenges that kind of give it like this frothy kind of, excitement, but it also presents a problem to overcome.
Well, and do you need a turbo now?
Oh, yes.
Well,
oh, yes.
One, or does Liza?
Let me bring up some other technology that's coming on and see if you guys think it needs to come back.
Turbo.
Neal, you were talking about the anti-dive suspension.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
So it actually detects when you hit the front brake, and it increases the damping and reduces the amount of dive under hard front tire braking. And there were several systems. Suzuki had one, Kawasaki had one, Honda had one.
What would be a common bike you'd find this on, Emma?
Oh, a lot of sport bikes had them. Sort of the mid-late 80s were the heyday of anti-lock braking.
Not braking, anti-dive.
Anti-dive braking, forgive me, not anti-lock. Anti-dive suspension and braking, because the two were linked. And there was always either a mechanical link between the caliper and the fork. Honda preferred a mechanical link. Kawasaki and Suzuki preferred a hydraulic link. And what you'd have is you'd have the hydraulic hoses going into the front calipers and then little jumper hoses going to the front of the forks. So when you honked on the front brake, the pressure pushed the caliper pistons into the pads on the wheel, but also it pushed pressure into valves in your forks, which stiffened up the front forks.
So do we need this to come back, Neal?
I think with the way it'd be interesting to see. So with, Brembo's acquisition of Öhlins, it would be interesting to see if they experimented with these kinds of ideas again, being both a suspension and a braking concern now.
I think, when we look back at the evolution of motorcycles, the biggest inroads that have been made, in my opinion, in the last 30 years, Japan's always known how to make big power out of their engines. Always known how to make big power out of their engines. And I mean, even if you didn't get it, it was easy to get. We've talked about this many times before. You'd buy your GS1000, it had 80 horsepower. It's so easy to get it to 100. Mm-hmm. But the suspension was crap and the brakes were crap. Because that's how it was back then. So suspension has come a long way. And braking, to a certain extent, has come even further.
Oh, so wait, are you saying that the anti-dive was a fix that was needed to compensate for the suspension at the time, but now the suspension's good enough, we don't need it?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, no, I hear where you're going with that.
Suspension is a lot better than it was in the mid-'80s.
Right.
A lot better. So maybe, it certainly was. It was very nice to have. The systems that worked, and the Suzuki and the Kawasaki system were fucking great. There were disadvantages because they didn't make the front suspension stiffer. They locked it. And so if you were doing really hard braking over a choppy road surface, you could get skipping because your front forks would get so stiff.
But now we have ABS also, so that's...
So,
okay.
No,
all right.
You get front end chatter when that.
How about...
one quick thing about the other thing, if you don't have anti-dive, you get used to the idea of the weight loading up the front tire, and that changes the geometry. The turn-in is quicker.
Yes.
And the anti-dive works against you.
Okay.
So we're going back to the same argument, Neal. Is technology making us more stupid and less intuitive as riders? This is an argument that's been going on since the beginning of time.
All right.
Yes.
How about another one? Who's familiar with a telelever front end?
Right here.
You want to give an example?
Sure. Telelever front end is, on all of your GSs, what it does is those forks that you see on the front is actually not what's connecting things.
They're not attached.
They're attached,
to the
but they put in the damping in there. The main shock absorber is front, and it's mounted off the engine. And what happens is when you brake, it means that your bike has a much lower center of gravity. So when you hit the brakes, it kind of feels weird. The whole bike kind of squats down. It takes a bit of getting used to, and for some people, it adds a bit of security because they don't feel good. I don't like it. I actually like my bike to dive a little bit, and I like my suspension to compress, and I liked my wheelbase to get shorter so I can dive in as appropriated with any of the riding schools.
It's interesting.
So there's another name for that suspension. It's called a nickel link.
Okay, nickel link, telelever, whatever the branding terms.
But I think it's very interesting to note that this is a feature found on many BMWs.
Yes.
However, the BMW flagship sport bikes and the flagship sport touring bike
absolutely not.
have conventional forks.
Right.
So that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yes.
I first saw it on, I just drew a blank, the very expensive sport bikes.
Bimotas?
Bimota.
Oh, yeah.
I first saw it on a Bimota where it was very clear that the front forks really came off of the frame, not from the headstock, right?
Well,
it was explained.
It's centralizing.
When you go over a bump with standard forks, the force is absorbed upwards into, who's in trouble?
Tisk.
Emma.
Could it be? Hello? Could it be?
Hello,
Could it be?
Emma.
Wow. So when you're riding standard bikes, that force, when you hit a bump, goes straight up into the handlebars. On a bike that's centered lower onto the frame, it's just going to absorb it, move up, and not transfer it straight up into the bike.
Yeah.
which makes sense. But we see so few bikes that use that.
Well, modern suspension's so good because that's like you're talking about, I think, of rebound damping, right? Because a lot of times when I pick up new bikes, you'll hit a plate or something hard and you feel it and you back off the rebound damping and it's gravy. So maybe it's just the technology's
No, it's the feel. And he said the word, it's the feel. And when you hear racers complaining about, I've just got no front end feel. I can't feel. Well, that's what tendilever does. You can't quite feel what's going on with the front end. And so on your race bikes, you're always going to have traditional forks. But it very much improves suspension.
All right. How about, with the Honda tried to come out with the 6-cylinder bike.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I've ridden BMW's version of that.
I mean, yes, you can buy 6 and 8-cylinder bikes.
Yeah, but
they're rarer. I mean, the 8 cylinders are going to be like the Boss Hogs, even though that's a 6, right?
Or there's that Chinese one that we talked about a while back.
You like the Rocket, though.
But are we going to see more not giant bikes that have 6 to 8 cylinders?
No, I think multi-cylinder bikes are really becoming far more specialized. Back when I was starting out, you could buy a Honda 354. In fact, it wasn't even the smallest. The smallest 4-cylinder bike was a Benelli 250. And you could buy a little Benelli 254, gorgeous little thing with 4 cylinders. Then you had your 350 Honda, 400 Honda,
Isn't the
500, 550.
Well,
what's the CB160?
No,
it's a twin.
It's a
Is it
twin.
just twin?
Yeah,
Well,
the road bikes.
Those are great until you have to do the valves.
Right. But
Yeah.
the point is, now it seems like the default category for motorcycles are twins. Twins are really,
Triples where it's at, baby.
well,
I prefer
Well,
the
I think we
V4.
talked about that. It has a lot to do with
Inline
Euro
4.
5.
we all got our addiction.
Yeah.
but the point is, there's less cylinders. Japan certainly is focused on twins right now. And twins offer, there's a lot to be
So
said
less
for
moving
twins.
parts.
There's less moving parts. They're narrow. They have a certain
Which is a
torque
big deal. The narrowness
characteristic,
is
which is
nice.
very, very pleasing. The trouble is with small capacity 4s, you got to rev them to get anywhere. They tend to lack torque. And that was a commonality even going back in the day when bikes naturally had more torque than they do now. Twins are okay. I don't think you will never beat the excitement of the Banshee Scream of a 4 for me. Ever.
No, I agree. An inline 4-liter bike is intoxicating.
I mean, you remember that XS11 that I had? Oh boy, that thing sounded good. It wasn't fast, but my God, it sounded epic.
That said, I love the sound of a CBX.
Our friend Ryan at
lovely
Fort
bike.
9 has a wonderful explanation of how the different pulses in the different firing order and how it's better for particular applications and what people like about triples, how a triple is wonderful but kind of slightly unmatched, how a cross plane inline 4 sort of mimics a V4 but not perfectly, and then there's the V4. All of MotoGP
They all
right now is heading towards
different traits.
all heading for V4, but Ryan does a wonderful job of explaining what engine is good for what.
Yeah.
So that's a technology that was very popular in the 80s, V4s, then kind of went away with a few
Not
holdouts.
Emma.
No, it's not me.
Who is it?
Not me.
It is Emma again.
Are you serious, Love?
Emma,
No, I mean,
you were a bad girl.
I'm on Do Not Disturb. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Tornado warning.
The sharks are out.
It
That's
could,
right.
it could
It
be.
is Sharknado.
All right.
So brief point.
Jatnado.
Hang on.
V4
I
seem
am
to be coming
leaving
back.
the room.
Very much so, especially in
You have to
MotoGP.
leave the room? Well, hurry back because I have the big one we're about to come up to. Neal, you were saying?
Yeah, so V4s seem to be coming back, mainly driven by racing.
Yes.
Because they split the difference between narrowness and lightness and being able to achieve high RPMs like inline 4s and higher certainly than the V-twins.
You also get your power comes on earlier like a twin, but you have the red range of an inline 4, and it's also the frame balance, how the engine is balanced across the entire frame.
It packages really nicely.
Yeah. It sounds lovely too. Oh
Yes.
God, I love it.
All right. Here's another one that came and went. And I'm wondering if maybe it's time to come back. Hub center steering.
Okay, explain that one
Fuck
again.
if I know.
Hub center steering. It's where you have the single-sided swing arm,
up
right.
front.
and it attaches to the hub and it pivots
up front.
the
Kind of
whole
like
wheel
half of a
from the hub.
Batmobile.
I just think that's kind of cute, but I just don't quite understand
Why?
what's the point. Yeah,
Why?
why? What's the advantage other
It's
than it
similar to a tello lever as far as weight
Yeah,
transfer
It,
Yeah.
behavior.
yeah,
And
it
again,
allows
we're
you,
back to
like
the
the
same
Bimota, I believe,
Right.
had the hub center steering. It allowed the fork to come out from the bottom of the frame, so that you're going to be absorbing impacts in a much different way, and where it's
Yeah,
deflecting
yeah.
it rather than absorbing it.
I could go for that when again. Let's find where it's useful.
Emma, hub center steering. Do you think it's time for that to come back?
I wish. Yeah. So hub center steering was a very, very interesting footnote in motorcycle technology. And it served an amazing purpose when frames and wheels and forks were not at their most rigid. So the way hub center steering works, it's almost like a telelever in that it centralizes the pivot point of a bike. It moves the pivot point of the front suspension back to the engine cradle. Instead of, like a BMW, turning about the telelever, which sits above the wheel, the lower control arm is at wheel level, and it actually turns the hub of the motorcycle. It's extremely clever. It's extremely stable. From a handling standpoint, it was massively improved over what was available at the time. If you want to see a perfect example of a hub center steering bike, look at a Bimota Tessie, which is just an amazing looking thing. However, forks have improved. Suspension design has improved. Wheels have improved. I think for its complexity and its failure rate, it's destined for the garbage bin, because we've moved so far in suspension technology, we simply don't need it anymore. It's like desmodromic valve gear. Desmodromic valve gear physically closes the valves within an engine. Back when it was invented in the late 1940s by Mercedes, they needed it because in order for the engines to rev as high as they wanted, there weren't springs available that could handle that RPM, so you had to physically close the valves. Here we are in 2025. Metal technology has come so far, and spring technology has come so far. We've got valve springs that can easily take 25,000 RPM. So in a lot of ways, desmodromic valve gear is obsolete. But Ducati have made it so much a part of their image, together with that blood red paint, they keep it around. But that's really the only application. So hub center steering, I'm going to put in, it was extremely necessary at the time. And it's a very, very clever piece of technology. I always wanted to build a custom bike with a hub center steering front end because it looks amazing. It's an incredible piece of technology.
Did they have one of those in Munich?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But you really don't need it now.
All right, I've saved the best for last. I think that this is technology that's ready to come back. And I think you're all going to agree with me.
Is this John Dalton's hot dog cooker?
Is it an 8-track player?
And I think Bagel's going to be on board with this too.
Oh, yeah?
Street legal two-strokes.
Ding, ding, ding.
Bring it.
Only half the year in California.
I think there's possibilities.
Now, because this was something you found on scooters and on motorcycles that disappeared late 70s, Emma? Two-strokes? Is that when they banned them?
Yeah.
Due to emissions. And on dirt bikes, you can still get them, but they're restricted when they can run. But they're required for the performance, on dirt bikes. So, Emma, do you think the technology has improved enough and the emission controls
Oh, yeah.
are clean enough that it's time to bring back a two-stroke.
Oh, absolutely. Hang on.
So I used to work at at Bel-Ray, and we had the tribology lab and whatnot. So we were big on the premix and whatnot. So we'd like to see that of course continue. I'm curious about the technology that makes it clean, though, that will allow it to.
Hold on one second. Everything's
Right.
falling apart. Emma, I had them in order. You just needed to pass the sheets on.
Okay.
We're passing out the emails
We're passing out
now.
letters. We're passing.
There you go. Everyone's name is written on the
Are there two-stroke engines now used like in trains or planes or automobiles?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's
two-strokes are still
there's
around.
snow machines.
Yeah. No, there's always been two-stroke
Snowmobiles.
diesels. Yeah.
That's what a snow machine is.
Well, yeah, but those things are incredible. They're like three-cylinder two-strokes.
So, do you think there's a chance we're going to see two-strokes coming back?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I wonder if there might be some possibilities with some new technology that's available, like with oil injection and fuel injection as well. Because one of the biggest drawbacks with two strokes is trying to get the exhaust as clean as possible. And when you have clean fuel air pushing out the dirty exhaust, you're going to get a messy result. But there have been a number of adaptations, let's say, for this two-stroke technology that separates the intake and exhaust cycles just enough so that you get the exhaust coming out without fresh fuel getting mixed in with it.
Right.
And with direct injection for the fuel into the cylinder is a good way to help with that.
So we talked about supercharging a little bit ago.
Yeah.
So if you use a separate supercharger versus using crankcase charging, then you avoid most of the lubrication issues.
Yeah, totally.
And then you inject directly into the cylinder, and everything is good.
But what a lot of people don't realize about two strokes is the exhaust system is part of the full combustion process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And on when the exhaust itself is cold, the expansion chamber is cold, you'll get a lot of unburnt fuel, you'll get a lot of smoke, you'll get a lot of that nasty two-stroke smell. Oftentimes,
says you, it's nasty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I personally, I love the smell.
I love the smell of two-stroke.
That
in the
smell
morning.
is manufactured. You can have it whatever smell you want.
But when you get that
Casserole all the way.
exhaust hot and you get that complete combustion, oftentimes, two strokes are smoke free when they get hot. A lot of the newer technology, they're looking at a secondary combustion within the exhaust to rid it of those gases, exhaust heating, as you said, supercharging. The future's bright for two strokes. They're always going to be specialists.
I'll tell you what I want.
Yes.
I want a 6-cylinder turbo two-stroke automatic.
Nothing wrong with that.
Adaptive.
I want all the things.
No, I'm thinking about it from a molecular standpoint, and it's very possible to have this be a non-petroleum product that could technically be recycled. If you live close enough to some places in the Bay Area, a car will go by, and all of a sudden it smells like fries.
French fries.
Right.
It smells like fries. Okay, I'm thinking that there's something else. It's going to have to be something that can handle a little bit higher burn, higher temperature, but nonetheless a synthetic or very possibly an organically derived
Maybe.
oil will be quite possible.
So one interesting related technology to two-stroke is two-stroke diesel. Besides Detroit Diesel's 671, 871, 1271s.
There you go.
But there's a company called Acades that makes an opposed piston two-stroke diesel that's been developed basically for the military to use in tanks and vehicles
This is very old technology.
It is. They go back to the Junkers, Jumo, whatever it was,
but even
aircraft engine.
So Tilling-Stevens, back in the early 1940s, came up with the TS3. And the TS3 is very interesting. It's post-piston. It has a single combustion chamber, 2 crankshafts going through linkages. And the pistons, for want of a better term, the pistons meet in the middle.
Yes.
So they face each other. One of the traits of that engine, it has to be supercharged.
Yes.
You can't get away with normal induction because it simply doesn't work. It has to be supercharged. But for a very, very small package, it produces a great deal of power. And I remember as a child, even as a very, very small child, when a Tilling-Stevens equipped truck went past, fucking hell, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Because they sounded like nothing else on the road. And back then, most of our big trucks were two-stroke diesels, and they all sounded good.
Right. So,
You know, you
Screaming
get
Jimmy's.
but a screaming Tilling-Stevens 3, especially with a driver who knew what they were doing, you'd get the howl off the supercharger and just the exhaust note. I would give anything to hear one again, because I'm never going to hear one here in America. And I guess if I went back to England, I'd have to go to an old truck rally or something. But it was very much a part of my childhood, hearing those things.
So I'm thinking of another British opposed piston diesel.
What do you think? The Deltic?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, the Deltic is an interesting side note. It's kind of a post piston made in a triangle. It was a boat engine that was unsuccessful as a boat engine, but enormously good as a locomotive engine. And 1,000 horsepower.
At least.
Apparently, well, you could just double them up. You could just add them together and get more horsepower. But apparently, when they explode, there's a lovely story about a Deltic locomotive blowing a piston through the roof and it going 2 miles. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
It was a launch.
But it still made it home with a bit of an oil leak.
Well, the piston's probably a foot in diameter or something.
Yeah, exactly. But so, I mean, it's very interesting technology. And, you know, I guess there's nothing new under the sun. It's just refining. What I like the idea of is if we look back in retrospect at ideas that maybe weren't fantastic back in the day. What are you doing with my hat? No, that's back to front, Liza. Turn it around the other way, sweetie.
Don't tell me what to do.
All right, I won't tell you what to do. And maybe saying, okay, well, with newer technology, with fuel injection, with engine mapping, with decent metallurgy, this can be really valid, you know, as we move through the 21st century. I love the idea of stuff like that.
Well, Matt, how's this going? Are you loving being here in the room, seeing this happen?
I am, and it only took about 2 minutes to hear Miss Emma say, Liza, which is what I came here to hear.
Liza!
Oh, my God.
Get me hat off!
Well, I hope you're enjoying it, seeing how this happens, where we just deep dive into topics.
I will admit, I did attempt to back reality up 30 seconds because I lost the train of what Miss Emma was saying. And then I remembered.
Well, we went to train spotting, so.
I'm not listening to a podcast currently. I'm in a room,
shooting
and there is no back 30 seconds. But
Yeah, exactly.
But the nice thing about it is we're not train spotting. We're not talking about the pithy, erudite discussions about the passing trains. No, we're actually getting into it. And it's actually a lot of fun.
Well, now we're going to get into some emails. We have a bunch.
Yeah.
I have 2 here I'm going to read. They're 2 different ones, but they're both the same topic. This is regarding my looking for a new bike to do this long trip. Our friend Mike Morgan says, hey, Liza, just listening to your podcast about your trip. I just bought a 2025 Honda NT 1100 DCT with only 5,000 miles on it for 10 grand. You probably know it's basically an Africa Twin in street gear.
Yes.
Can't wait to road trip at the summer. Mike from Morgan. Mike Morgan from Oregon. He's just up the road from Bagel.
Well, I hope that Mike's going to come and visit us on his NT 1100.
That's a great thing to cruise on.
I had to look it up. I had not seen an NT 1100 DCT.
It's a good-looking thing, isn't it?
It is. It's kind of like, I was saying, like the Versus 1100, but it's on the, Versus 1000. It's the Honda Africa Twin.
No, it's kind of muscular and haunchy.
Yeah, but it's an upright riding position, which is perfect.
Yes.
Which is really cool. And to get a 2025 with 5,000 miles on it already, you scored, dude. I didn't find any for sale, however. They are much too new of a bike. But Tim Honda, interestingly enough,
Timmy.
he says, okay, Liza, I think I've sent pictures of this bike to you before. It's like a multistrada and a Tracer had a baby.
What?
It's a triple like the Tracer, but it's Italian. All the maintenance is up to date and good for another 18,000 miles. I have put about 15,000 miles on it since I bought it in 2019. It's a 2016, and now it's a little small for me at 6'6", but most bikes are. But I've also done 300-mile days on it and been comfortable. Let me know if you want to try it out. Emma, do you know what this bike is?
3-cylinder has to be MV Augusta.
That is correct.
Yep.
Yes.
This is a very good-looking.
Isn't it?
Very sexy bike.
This is another bike I was not aware of. This is...
I love the
forget
paint
name.
schema.
This, too, is an upright... I mean, what are we calling... I call it adventure-styled bike.
May I see the photographs,
I mean,
please?
it's not an adventure bike, but it's adventure-styled in that it's an upright touring...
Upright touring bike.
Reminds
Yeah,
me of the
upright
old
touring.
Shiver.
Going on a dirt road.
Another great bike. Thank you very much for that.
It's got that lovely being kicked up the butt look. It's got really high tail.
Yeah, MV Augusta. That's a sexy bike. But again, those go for some real money.
Oh, I've ridden one of these.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, well, I mean, because this is one of the designs by Miguel Galuzzi, obviously, and he designs such sexy bikes. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's lovely. I still have a preference for my pal Rico.
So the problem with my search is I want to spend like $9,000 or less, but I want something that's as new as possible. So, I mean, looking at a 2016.
Hang on. So I'm going to stop you there, Liza.
Please don't.
How many takers have you had on the Nikon?
I haven't listed it yet.
Oh, there you go. Well, you don't have a pot to piss in right now.
No. So, but what I'm saying is a lot of people have been sending me these suggestions, which are great, except they're either over $10,000 or they're older than 2016 or older than 2018. I mean, I've got a 2012 KTM I could take, but I want something as like 2018 or newer, but under 10 grand. So these are all really cool bikes, but yeah, they're a little too high end and a little too old. Bagel, you've got 2 emails that are also the same. Why don't you pick one of those to read?
Okay. I have an email here from Kevin Stratton.
Hey, Kevin.
Where's Kevin from, Bagel?
Kevin.
We'll get to that. So Kevin writes, the addition of Farkles on a motorcycle is about knowing your bike. Being the male, quote unquote, in your most recent question.
Is he from South Africa or Canada?
Neither.
Oh, no, he's not from either.
Don't you know?
Oh, he's from Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. It is I who loves to farkle his bike. I admit it. Hi, I am Kevin and I farkle.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. It works if you work it.
Look, I don't have the garage space for 30 scooter projects. I don't work on bikes like the lovely and sexy eyes Miss Emma.
I say, I like him already. Hello, darling.
I also don't always have a project bike, yet I have had a few that I have spent time and love on them to only sell for a loss. Sometimes my projects are for the wife or building something special for another in my family. So where does that leave me? With money in my pocket and a bike in the shop. I cannot take the money with me, so I spend it on the girl.
All right.
On what do you say and why? Well, let's explore. One day I looked down at the bike and I saw the foot pegs are stock. Am I not a good enough rider for this to make a difference? No, nope, nada and nuts. Yet I don't ride every day, so working on the bike and adding some pegs is just a little foreplay. Let me check out your foot pegs. While I'm down there, what else can I do for you, darling? Oh, what is that, she says? Give me a little something, a little softer for a better ride.
Oh, dear me. No,
Okay.
this isn't right. This is
that
just,
line you were
it's
talking about.
porno.
This is a family podcast.
This
Hey,
is porno.
Oh, hold on. You cannot talk right now because you've been behaving badly while Bagel's reading this.
No, I what? It was Jimmy made me do
And no,
it.
and Matt,
No,
you were
Jim
laughing.
Matt was doing the exercise
Come on.
weight jerk off thing.
Not fair.
All right.
I think it's
Sorry.
the letter because the
Throwing
dude's
Matt under the
Bagel.
bus.
Jim made me do it.
Please continue, Bagel.
Okay, the internet is always open. So a new seat is on order at midnight. After I get the new, softer place to sit for her, she asks to have some sensory deprivation.
Oh God.
So what is the guy to do? I go to the forbidden website that I don't let the children look at and get some new LED lighting. Then it is super easy to turn her on. All it takes is a little flicker in just the right spot and she lights up. I am not into competition with anyone else. I just want to wrench. Spinning a wrench is just like a little foreplay just before a ride or on a cold day when I just have an hour and not enough time to go out. I don't like chrome or loud pipes. And I also figure that the engineers at any motor manufacturer are better at building engines than I. So those are some of the forbidden fruits. But I do like getting familiar with my bike, what she does, and why. When I work on it, I look at all the other maintenance items. I agree that stock is much more desirable than the next buyer. Or the stock is much more desirable for the next buyer. It's my bike now, and I want some foreplay before my ride. The foreplay often gets overlooked. So when you have a girl like this, do her a favor and give her at least a little. Then you can ride her with both of you smiling. Keep the rubber side down. Kevin, Woodbury, Minnesota. P.S. The best part is any farkles done to my bike are for me and not anyone else. So what someone else thinks is of no consequence, just as I flicker that little spot. Ooh.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay.
He put some work into that.
And of course,
It's as thick as plum pudding.
you know what comes before foreplay, don't you?
Well, you've got
Three play.
You've got.
Three play.
I say you've got to dress for the occasion first.
All right. We need to get through these.
I thought it was 20 minutes of begging, but at any rate. So here's another one on topic here. Farkle. This is from Chad Butler. I'm not quite sure that men tend to farkle more than women. At a women's clothing store, the counters are filled with accessories, and at a men's store, it's more likely that they prefer the sleeves cut off. It reminds me of the joke, why do women wear makeup and perfume? Because they're ugly and they stink? Wow. Went there.
No, that's not right.
Harsh. Dude.
You're going to need to buy some flowers for that
That's
one.
right.
Kid.
You're sleeping. You're in the
Find some
doghouse.
better women.
Scratching fleas.
Whatever. I learned that joke from my wife.
And although this topic is getting old, the motorcycle icon I'd choose to ride with would be Craig Vetter.
Oh, cool.
Because I can just imagine how precious it would be for him to get back on the bike.
Yeah.
And tell you how bad of miles per gallon you're getting.
Exactly. And for that ride, because it's a dream, I'd saddle up on the original Captain America. We'd ride across America because an epic ride should be epic ride. We'll eat Thai food, camp out at hot springs. Naked Jim will bring the firewood, and Bagel will handle all the logistics.
I got you covered at the hot springs.
Yeah. I suppose I should allow Craig to add in whatever details would make it his perfect ride. Probably his wife and son along. Let's go.
Well, clearly I'm not
Nice.
allowed to go because I'm ugly and smelly.
Yeah. Well, why don't you read an
So Chad is from Scioto, Oregon.
Thanks, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Why don't you read an email and try and keep the smell down?
Okay, I'll do what I can. And I'm reading these in order.
Yeah.
Hi, Misfits. I've been enjoying your show and wanted to reach out. Oh, by the way, this is from Todd Lay.
Hey, Todd.
I've been enjoying your show and wanted to reach out for some advice. I am a new rider and currently ride a 2001 BMW F650 GS, lovely little bike, which is my first bike. I love it, but lately I've been wanting to do more off-road riding and maybe join my friends on events like the Sheet Iron Ride.
Yeah, I think Fortnite just did a thing on that bike, how capable it actually is.
One of my friends is selling a 2013 Yamaha WR250R.
Yes.
And
That's your answer, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm seriously considering it, as you should, Todd.
Yeah.
From what I've read, it seems like a great bike for dual sport and trail riding. My only concern is whether the 250cc engine will leave me wanting more power.
Yes, I think
especially since I'm used to the BMW's torque and highway capability. I'd really appreciate your thoughts on this, whether the WR250R is a good fit for somebody transitioning from a heavier adventure bike to a more dirt-focused riding, or I should be looking at something else. Thanks for all the content you put out. Parlay.
Yeah.
I say it has to do with budget. I mean, because that WR is probably going for $3,000 or $4,000. And for $3,000 or $4,000, it's a great dual sport, but it will be a little underpowered. But if you talk about the sheet iron, it's packed clay. It'll do fine for that kind of stuff. If you get in more challenging, loose, sandy conditions, you're going to want more power.
I'm actually going to say
that's my 2 cents.
For the sheet iron, because you need to do some highway also.
Yeah.
I think a DRZ 400 is going to be more of a better bike. I think the 250 is a round town bike or a dirt park bike, or a desert bike or something, but not something like the sheet iron where you're doing a lot of different things.
My only concern, if Todd is truly learning dirt over again, the one thing he's going to find is that lugging around a larger bike, he's going to get tired a lot more easily.
Yeah, the DRZ is.
And and the DRZ is quite a porker. Having a light, agile bike like a WR, I think is a great place to start.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to chuck it around. He's going to be able to pick it up if it falls. But the more important thing, when he tires of the power delivery, if indeed he does, it's going to be an easy sell.
Easy sell.
Yeah. Well, also,
it's good point.
It's really hard to you can't wring the neck of an F650. Really, it doesn't work that well. But a WR250, you can wring its neck. You're not going to be as fast as you want to be on those pavement sections, but you're going to catch up to them in the dirt sections. You're going to be light and flickable, and you're not going to be as tired at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll say, because remember when we did that COVID trip to South Dakota? That's when I had the 250 rally raid, right?
Yeah.
And it's a 250. It's an underpowered dirt bike.
But
But
God,
I
you
rode the shit out of it, dude.
You could just.
I was on the roads. I was on the dirt. I rode. So so ride it and have a good time, and then you'll know more of what you might want in your next dirt bike.
Yeah. I think you answered it with yes.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
All right.
the WR is a great bike.
Yeah.
Todd, buy it. Buy it. Buy it.
All right, Matt, what you got there?
All right. Well, this is from Steve from Oregon. He doesn't say where in Oregon, but that's okay. All towns in Oregon are exactly alike.
Okay, very
Wet,
good.
moist, like Emma's shoes.
Moss growing on the north side.
That's
You
right.
like my shoes?
I like your boots today, though. I like the
Oh,
heels.
do you? Yeah, I was going to say.
I heard you clip-clopping around.
Yeah, these are my horsey boots.
All right, you two.
Clippity clop.
Steve from Oregon says, my favorite motorcycle movie is Cold as Ice, and I really hope that's a typo, and he means the seminal 1991 motorcycle classic Cool as Ice, starring
Vanilla?
motorcycle hero Vanilla Ice.
Oh.
How do you not know this, Liza? This is so in your wheelhouse.
Right in your wheelhouse.
I said vanilla. I knew this.
Oh, okay.
She did.
Went from the beginning. All right.
Yeah.
If I could ride with anyone, it would be Sonny Barger on a pair of F6Bs, because I bet he'd love a Honda over a Harley.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe an Indian, but I don't know about a Honda.
That would be interesting.
Great podcast, guys. Keep up the good work. Fuck knock. Love, peace, and bacon grease. Steve from Oregon.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank you,
We like
Steve.
bacon grease.
All right, we're up here. This is from Shannon. We don't have a last name on this
Shannon.
one, but Shannon.
Hey,
I'm
Shannon.
getting the idea this is It says Shishboylan 67. I'm almost thinking that he's from Sheboygan. It's a he, and he's from Sheboygan. But anyway, Shannon is giving advice to Liza regarding what bike to choose. And of course, you handed me this one. Regarding the Ducati engines for the model year 2021, Ducati introduced the V4 Gran Turismo engine with traditional valves and the 3600 valve mile service. This engine was introduced on the Multistrada line and is now the common engine on all Ducati V4 bikes with the Desmo engine. With the Desmo engine now only available on special editions, find yourself a low mileage 2021 or newer V4 Multistrada and ride the wheels off it. And of course, you handed me this because I absolutely, utterly agree.
Right. Will I find one for under 10 grand?
Will find a way. Okay, because I've been riding the new GS, and is as much as a big leap forward as it is, the old V4 is still better because I haven't had any problems with it.
Yeah,
the GS, I go over the pass and it complains, take me to a service center. The V4 has been bulletproof, and I've had my valve. Yeah. I had my valve service done, and Lawrence from Firenze said the valve did not need to be adjusted; they were fine. So
thank you for that recommendation. And I looked up the V4s. They tend to mostly be out of my price range.
Right. We will find a possible, maybe we can find just a repair job or something.
Yeah, maybe you can find one that's been lightly dropped.
Yeah, because you're going to need to put guards on it anyway. Yeah. So
yeah, and if you
I was thinking about trying to get a Copart bike and fix it up.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the Copart stuff. It's very much a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw Copart under the bus, but you cannot trust the description of the bike. You have to evaluate it yourself.
Mr. Naked Jew.
All right. Here's some Farkle freak wisdom from our sage friend Hector.
Yeah.
Hey, Hector, ¿qué pasó? No, we love Hector. Okay, listening to last week's podcast on the subject of Farkles and why we do it, why not? Most of what I've added to my bikes are things that I felt like I was tuning to my needs and my style, but mostly replacing stuff that I broke off. So also adding additional Farkles like phone holders and things like that. But when there's an anodized version that looks cool, I bite. All right. You and Liza both. I'm reminded of fly fishing and tying flies in particular. There are bins and bins of flies in a fly shop. Some simple, some plain, some overdressed, some gaudy. Some are simple, purpose-built imitations, and some are just to catch the angler's eye and get them to add to their fly box. The thing is, they both catch fish, but only in the hands of an angler who presents them well. In riding, I'm not as excited about what you can put on your bike as much as I'm excited about your stories. Remember, the coolest thing you can add to your bike is more miles. Happy New Year, Misfits. I'm grateful for you and what you do. We're thankful for you, Hector.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Hector.
He's quoted the reluctant Farkle King. How did he get that nickname anyway?
At our rally.
At the rally, he won the Farkle helmet.
Yeah, because he had the most Farkles, most Farkle bike. All right, we've got time for one more. Bagel, you have one more there?
I do.
Staying on topic.
Yes, I have an email from Phil the Monk.
Phil.
Just go for it with all your might, Bagel.
All right. The problem is that modern bikes are too good.
God damn it. Sounds angry.
When I was a kid, my dad spent every weekend wrenching on his Triumph so it would run until the next Friday. Reliability was aspirational.
All right, hold on, Bagel.
Yes.
Try not to shout because it's distorting your mic too much.
Okay, sorry about that.
All right, just say that last line again.
I whipped him into a frenzy.
Do keep the Scottish thing still going because it sounds wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
Reliability was aspirational, not assumed. Bikes demanded attention, patience, expertise, and more than a little blood, sweat, and tears. Today's bikes just work for weeks, months, years. And when they don't, a hammer and spanner won't help. You need a laptop and a CAN bus cable. But the urge, the need to lay hands on the machine, to tinker, to form that tactile relationship remains. The problem is there's nothing really to fix. So we Farkle. Not because we need to, but because we can. If my modern bikes needed constant wrenching, there'd be no Farkles on them. But they don't, so there are.
That
the mic.
is
Yeah,
an
he went
interesting
Irish on
point.
us, but I like that.
This
Irish is fine.
I will concur with Phil. So, as everyone knows, I like old cars as well.
I
as
was going
like
to say this, like what I was
bikes.
watching you do today.
And so today I spent a lot of part monkeying around with a 1950 Packard straight 8 distributor.
Oh.
But I go to shows, and almost universally amongst the old crowd is the kids these days don't work on their cars. It's not like back when we did it and we were bolting supercharged on Mustangs. And it isn't like that now. The kids still love their cars just as much as their dads or their granddads did, but they're doing different things because the cars themselves demand a different approach. You can't buy a Lexus or even a Honda Civic or a Honda Fit and put a supercharger on it. You can't do that anymore.
You're not getting Edelbrock carburetor for your
because
whatever.
It doesn't lend itself to that, the same as motorbikes. They don't lend themselves to bolt-on performance. You can't put a rack of Mikunis on a Versys 1000. So you do other things.
But the Farkles, this is the best explanation I received of why men farkle.
Right. Well, why
I appreciate
everyone
that.
farkles.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
And, you
I love
know,
it.
I hang out at the local O'Reilly because I love the kids down there. They've got a bunch of like 20-somethings who work at the counter, and they're irreverent and they're rude and they're loud and they're fun and they all love me to bits. And so I get this unique insight into young men's culture. Every single one of them are driving Japanese shitboxes. Every one of them have farkled them out to the max because they have this desire to lay their hands on their car. But you can't do what the old boys used to
Like
do.
the Mopar.
Yeah, you can't do that to these cars. So you do other things. And so it is with our bikes. You know, back in the day, I'd save up for weeks to put my, you know, Alpha 4x1 on my GS1000. And you can't even change exhaust now because you've got catalytic converters, you've got oxygen sensors, lambda sensors. You know, you can't just bolt stuff on. You've really got to think about what you're bolting on.
Well, you can.
That's the key difference is the emissions stuff.
You can, but it's very expensive.
It's
You have to
very
buy a
expensive
whole
and
exhaust
hard,
system.
and you've got to balance it, and then you've got to map your bike to it. It's far easier if you suffer from this desire to work on your bike, as we all do. We all want to lay our hands on our bike because it's a complete ownership experience. You're going to farkle.
Yeah.
So I'm thrilled that it was a Brit who nailed it. But, you know, people from Manchester are quite smart. You know,
Wait, Manx are from Manchester?
Mancunian. Yeah, M-A-N-C. Manx is from the Isle of Man, but Phil is not Manx. He's M-A-N-C. He's a Mancunian. The only complaint I've got against Manchester, although it's filled with lovely people, darlings, you're not the second city. Even though you think you are, Birmingham is.
Oh, dear.
Phil, send us an email. Let us know what you think.
You know, always has been, darling. It's London is the biggest, and then Birmingham, and then Manchester. It's always been that way, sweetie.
Calm down, Emma. Calm down.
Right. Meanwhile, the Scousers on Liverpool.
Well,
Oh, the
there's-
Scousers. Don't give me, hey. All right.
well, there you go. Matt, you've seen how the sausage is made. What'd you think?
Yeah, I'm never coming back.
you likely got scabies from the couch, by the way.
Right.
Hey, they do
Or at
that.
least-
Oh, but he's in the mood
Or
for
at
some
least you got a
sausage
pork
now.
rind in your ass crack.
Or a little pork
That's
rind.
more likely.
I hear bathing in kerosene.
I'll email you guys later and tell you what happened.
So that wraps up tonight's show.
Fantastic.
I have a quick announcement to make.
Oh, do you really?
Yes. Emma, you're going to be running the show next weekend.
I am indeed. Me and Jim are going to be opening the garage, and we are going to be serving a hot and delicious breakfast
Lord of mercy.
to anyone who shows up. There's going to be egg. There's going to be sausage. There's going
Bangers.
to be bacon.
Gonna be some bangers.
Yeah, there's going to be bangers and mash like my mother used to make.
I can get actually some really good quality bangers at my local market.
Well, I
Okay.
suggest you come and help us open up then and bring your bangers with you.
So You're also going to be doing a show without me.
Yeah, we'll do a really big show.
Because I am going to be in Rogers, Arkansas.
Good luck with
at
that.
Mach 1 Motorsports on Saturday the 3rd. So come on down and see me if you're in the Arkansas area. I'm going to be there for the launch of the Women Riders World Relay in the U.S.
All right.
Shoot pigs.
Do you know my introduction to Arkansas as a child?
Oh dear.
I used to watch a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
I was born in Arkansas.
The Wacky Racers.
Yeah.
And the Wacky Racers, there was the guys from Arkansas, and I can't remember their name, but they were in the Chugabug special.
Right. Somebody had to be named Cletus.
Probably. It was the Chugabug special from Arkansas.
Oh,
and that was my introduction to Arkansas as a child. I loved the Wacky Racers.
That was on right after the Banana Splits.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the Banana Splits were live action, of course.
Okay.
So this is a time where I say thank you to everyone, including and especially our Patreon subscribers. We've had some new subscribers. So thank you so much.
You rock.
Love your support.
Yes.
Thank you to everyone for sticking with us. You've been with us for a while, Matt, you said. Been listening for a while?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah, nice. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I have started working on the new design of the t-shirt because I sold out of our t-shirts this week. And I've got some interesting I'm working on that I've not seen anything like before. I want to show you the picture after this.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
So yes, Patreon subscribers, I'm working on the new t-shirt design. Remember, if you are a subscriber at $5 or more, you're going to get a free t-shirt in the spring. Every year, a new t-shirt. So thank you guys so much. You can go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. I updated our list of events, including the Misfits Rally in April. Come and join us. And you can send us your emails at motorcyclesandmisfits@gmail.com.
Yes.
We want to hear from you.
All those things.
I want to keep it going. I love the fantasy ride. Who do you want to ride with on what bike? I love the answers we're getting. So keep it coming. On that note, I think we're ready to get out of here. Thank you, everyone. This is Liza.
This is Neal.
Emma, darling.
Matt from Milwaukee.
Cat McLeod.
Naked Jib, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Cool.